There is intimidation to some of this coming forward. Certain groups, political structures, religious structures feel like, oh my God, the world's going to come to an end if people know. I think it's ludicrous. I think it's insulting to the intelligence of people to think that they cannot be told the truth. I mean, my gosh, you can only tell your child for so long that he came from the stork. You know, for God's sake, man, there comes a point in time people need to be told. And it seems in America we are dragging our feet. Other governments at least have forwarded some of the information. But how crazy making, how psychologically disturbing to live in a climate of such denial of something that's staring you in the face. Robert Stanley, a gentleman who studied a lot of the UFO events in Washington, D.C., and when he released a story internationally in July of 2005, dark military copters fly over his home, and he had them at other times. I have interviewed people who experienced these things as well. One lady came to Memphis and she began to photograph the many different dark helicopters that flew around her, and she had quite a collection of these. These copters should be marked, okay? They shouldn't be flying around without identification. So it raises questions that someone doesn't want us to know, someone does want us to know. There seems to be the forces that are empathetic and apathetic to human progression. So we have to take responsibility. This photo, actually, it's a video, and this is a slide from a video of the Washington, D.C. flyover in July of 1952. And people saying, well, when they land in Washington, I will believe. Oh, really? I'm not sure some of you, if it bit you on the nose, you would believe. Crack the concrete. Loosen the welding on the door of your mind, friend. It's there. It's there. So come out of La La Land and enjoy the real world. I'm sorry I'm prodding you a little bit. I want to be your friend, and I want to help you. But denial just doesn't work anymore. Some principles of research and investigation that I'm going to close this part of the presentation, and I will continue it later. The three principles I want to leave with you: observe the obvious, perceive patterns, and the known is the key to the unknown. All right? Observe the obvious, perceive patterns, and the known is the key to the unknown. And when it's obviously there, if there's something with four wheels in my driveway and you turn the key and it cranks up and people get in it and drive off, guess what? Guess what, friend? It's probably a car. And when we see shiny objects flying above us and making their flight maneuvers around us, there's something there. You can't talk me out of what I know and have seen and experienced and observed. So do not deny the obvious. It creates a cognitive dissonance. It's crazy making. And admit the obvious. Admit it. Admit it. And it's so liberating. Then perceive patterns. See what others have seen and experienced. Comparison is the key to learning. And then what we know is the key to what we don't know. What do we know? We know that human governments develop aerial craft. My gosh. Look what has happened in flight since the Wright brothers. It's amazing. It's amazing. in the past 100 years and more, what has taken place in the development of this technology. So we can only speculate what has gone on in other cultures, other worlds, or worlds within our world. If human governments develop aerial craft, is it at all illogical to assume that more advanced cultures do the same? Gosh, look at some of the spectacular jets that we have today, some of the equipment. It's amazing. It's a fascinating study, and it's fascinating to consider what other worlds have possibly brought into our world, other worlds that have possibly upgraded us genetically, other worlds that are coexisting quite discreetly with our world, and perhaps that cover is coming off. But I'm going to continue this in a continuation of this presentation, and I look forward to sharing some more slides with you and speaking you more heart to heart on this important subject.